Sony Michel just retired at age 28 from the Rams football team. How are we going to replace him? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Stay tuned. What's up, everyone? Zach here, and today we're going to be discussing Sony Michel's retirement and how we're going to replace him, who we might be replacing him with. Now, this article is coming from the Rams Wire. This is something that I bring up every day. We analyze these articles and I give my thoughts on them. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and leave a subscribe and a like, just so that you see more of these types of videos and get updated on everything Rams, nation. So here we go. So Sony Michel just abruptly retired out of nowhere, as well as a Steelers fullback that was 23 years old and a rookie. He retired as well, and then another 26-year-old. I can't remember who else just retired. But this leaves a gap in the Rams offense. We figured, Sony Michel would be the backup to Cam Akers, and we would have a really good third down running back and a veteran, a guy that's won 2 Super Bowls. However, now we don't. There are some running backs out there, though, that could fill his role and fill it even better and even give Cam Akers some competition. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, how we're going to replace him. Now, there's a few people who are some reaches, and there's a few people that actually are familiar faces. So we'll go through each 5 of these that are coming from the Rams Wire, and we'll talk about who I think that we will eventually pick up, and then who we also might have a chance to pick up as well. So the first running back is going to be Ezekiel Elliott. Now, Ezekiel Elliott it was replaced by Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, was the kind of top guy with the Cowboys last year, and they decided to go with him. Ezekiel Elliott is an intriguing name that remains unsigned this summer. Elliott did post career low marks and receptions with 17 and yards per touch with 3.9. However, he was still able to produce 12 touchdowns, and he's always been reliable in pass protection, which is something that Cam Akers is working on right now, but hasn't exactly figured out perfectly. Elliott recently met with the New England Patriots, and there's been reports of a potential return to the Cowboys, but if he remains unsigned, he could be a solid complementary back to the Akers at the beginning of the season. Now, this is a player I'd love to have. I've actually been critical of Ezekiel Elliott just because he was, purported as a top 5 running back in the league for a long time, and I just didn't think he was consistent enough for that. However, now that he is a free agent and he's possible to be signed to the Rams, I would definitely love him to be a backup to Cam Akers and someone who is also getting a lot of touches. Now, this is not good. This would not be good for Cam Akers' fantasy value. However, I think the pass protection he provides, as well as the explosiveness on third downs and in goal-to-go situations, I think this is the perfect type of running back to have from the Rams. However, I don't think it's that likely. I think he will return to the Cowboys, but hopefully he takes a meeting with the Rams and we can see if it's a good fit. The second player is going to be Kareem Hunt. Now, it's a bit of a controversial one. The stuff he's done outside of football is something I don't agree with. However, he's a great running back. If you can separate, the outside career of someone and then the career in the NFL, he's a great running back. He got a second chance with the Cleveland Browns in 2019, and him and Nick Chubb were a great 1-2 punch. They moved on from Hunt this past year, and the former 1,000-yard rusher is still a free agent. Hunt has caught 35 plus passes in 4 of his 6 seasons in the NFL, which is more than Akers has had in his 3-year career. But the former third-round draft pick will turn 28 in early August, so he is going to be a declining running back. However, he's someone that could still contribute a ton and is probably a pretty good fit for the Rams. However, this is another type of running back that I don't think the Rams will be picking up, just kind of what I think. Now, Leonard Floyd. This is another one who has been a top running back in past years. However, his time with Tampa Bay has come to an end. He's a bruising back. This is just another complimentary guy to Cam Akers. I see Cam Akers as a first and second down running back and a guy who will get a lot of touches on the goal line as well. But while Cam Akers is resting and those third down situations, Fournette is the perfect person to have in short yardage situations and on the goal line as well. So just another very good fit, I would say, but someone who kind of seems like a stretch as well. But even if the Rams got any of the 3 pass running backs that I just mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would be very happy about it. The fourth one is a familiar face, Darrell Henderson. The Rams could bring him back. He went to the Jaguars for the rest of the year last year. Didn't have too much production. However, he did play very well for the Rams with all of Cam Akers' things that he's had to deal with, whether it's being a diva or just being injured. Henderson spent 4 seasons with the Rams, and he did very well. He's still only 26 years old, and he's a capable pass catcher. I think he's probably the worst fit out of the 4 that we've talked about so far. However, it's probably the most likely that we will pair Darrell Henderson back up with Cam Akers. But maybe Darrell Henderson doesn't want to come back after we got rid of him. So the final one's going to be Dontrell Hilliard. Now, he ended last season on injured reserve. However, he did have spurts of good play. He hasn't garnered many touches since signing with the Browns, but he's been extremely efficient with his opportunities. He's averaged 6.5 yards per touch. He just hasn't had a lot of time to play. This seems like a kind of a flyer that we'd be taking on him, and I don't really want to pick him up, but he's also a possibility. Personally, I would much rather have Leonard Floyd out of any of these 5, but if we get any of the first 4, I'm happy with it, and I think the most likely is that we pick up Darrell Henderson. Let me know what you think about the Rams running back situation in the comment section below. Also, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.